Yo, welcome to Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach, along with my partner, Mr. Adi Wiley. We got a big show for y'all today. We talking about the NFL draft. We're going to talk about the quarterbacks. Make sure you go on YouTube and subscribe to the Spectator Sporting. Hit that bell, leave comments. We do comment as well. We got two special guests in the building here to help us talk about this the NFL quarterbacks. I got my man Jay Knight in the building, and I got my homie Hakeem here with me as well, and we're going to get all into this. NFL Draft 2021, quarterbacks. It's been a hot topic. A lot of good quarterbacks out there this year. A lot of them saying this could be a great class. A lot of teams doing trade-ups. I mean, we've seen more trades in the draft right now before the draft than we've seen in a long time. So that means there's some quarterbacks out here. So I'm going to start with one of our special guests, Mr. Jay Knight. I want to know, who do you have rated higher, Justin Fields or Zach Wilson?
So here's what I have rated higher. I have Zach Wilson. I got the Stormin' Mormon. And here's the reason. Zach Wilson has the athletic ability. He's a little smaller, so people are getting on that. His level of competition, people will always say that about quarterbacks. Who did they play? If they didn't play in a big conference, they always wonder about that. But a lot of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, they play 1AA, they play at small conferences, so that's not really an issue. What he does well, he has great feet, great vision. He can throw off script as well. His worst game was Coastal Carolina, right? Okay. Struggled, he had adversity. I was down on him in that game. He didn't play a very good game. But if you watch the end of that game, everything he'd been through, getting smacked in the mouth all night, being chased around, team wasn't really doing their best for him. And at the end of the game, he brought his best. There was a play, 3rd and 14. He rolled right. He threw back across his body, threw left, what you're supposed to never do, and he put on a rope. He squared his shoulders. His footwork wasn't great. He squared his shoulders. He threw a bullet. Yes. Preserved the drive. And he got them down to the 2 or 3 yard line, and time expired. He fought and got them back. And that's what you want with an NFL quarterback. You want somebody who's going to be dynamic, who's going to bring you back. He reminds me a lot of a right-handed Steve Young, at his ceiling. I think that's what he can be. He can be an all-time great. But what you have to worry about is two things. With a young quarterback, I always got to see who's your coordinator. Okay. LaFleur is his coordinator. He's a brother of the coordinator for the 49ers. So that's a good thing. His coach is a defensive-minded coach, which is good and bad, because defensive-minded coaches, as Akeem knows from playing at Northwestern, defensive-minded coaches want a quarterback, especially a young quarterback, not to screw things up, not to lose games. Mm-hmm. But you got to see what weapons are there. So they have a lot of draft capital, so he's going to have things available, but you have to wait for him. But I like his footwork, I like his precision, I like the fact he gets on time, but he needs to process faster. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm a Buckeye fan. Justin Fields, I think at his ceiling, right now he reminds me of Josh Allen. Big athletic kid, can throw the ball, can make all the throws. Played his best in big games. If you look at it, back-to-back years versus Clemson, he was dynamic in those games. Absolutely. Dominated Michigan, dominated Penn State this year. He's played very well. But on the bad side is his processing. He has to get through his reads fast. He has to process faster, and sometimes he has paralysis by analysis because he wants to be too perfect. He wants to see a receiver wide open, and that's going to hurt you in the NFL. So he needs to be able to speed things up in his head. The good thing is the guy's a leader. He's one of the quarterbacks with Trevor Lawrence that really petitioned to get the college football season going. So that's a good thing. He is a leader. Yeah. He has the athletic ability, and he can make all the throws. But once again, I'll take Zach Wilson, especially if you're making him a franchise quarterback starting from the beginning. I think Justin Fields can benefit from being picked later in the draft, maybe with the Patriots. Okay. And high end if he's made with the 49ers. But Zach Wilson, I think is that guy right now. I don't think he's that far off of maybe the guy's greatest quarterback created, Trevor Lawrence. So we'll see.
Oh, so you put no thing into the conference he played in. That plays no bearing on you picking him or you saying he's better.
I'm picking him. He checks all the boxes. I mean, I think he has to get factor as well. The thing is to see how he responds to the big lights of New York. New York can eat you up, and especially he's going to struggle in his first year or two. So you got to give him time to build. You got to put weapons around him, and we got to see what the Jets do around him to have success.
Besides the Jets, say if the Jets don't get it, is there any other team that you're looking at that's in the top 5 that you can see him going to that he can really
The 49ers will take him in a heartbeat. They would take him in a heartbeat. They would go streaking through San Francisco with tassels on their titties because they would be happier than they'll be happier than a pig and slop. I mean, he's not going to get past the Jets. The Jets are already making up posters. New York, we're trying to do better with his picture on it. Wow. That's what the Jets are doing right now. But if something happens, if they pull a surprise at number 2, he's not getting past San Fran.
Okay, got it. Keem, same question to you. Who has the higher ceiling? Who you taking? Justin Fields or Zach Wilson?
This is by far the hardest question of the day we have.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson by a mile. This kid is. Every now and then you have people who are average, and then every now and then you come across people who are special.
Ooh.
Zach Wilson is special. This guy has all the clubs in the bag. He makes unscheduled throws, off-scheduled throws, played in the pro offense. Alright, he had a bad game against Coastal Carolina, as Jay Knight alluded to earlier. He threw a 40-yard frozen rope. That's a pro throw. He makes all the throws.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned earlier, the thing that separates him from Fields, it's so many traits. Actually, I have Zach Wilson as the number 1 quarterback. I think he's better. And I'll tell you. I'll tell you why.
Explain.
So, Trevor, which we'll talk about him later, he's a little erratic. I mean, we've had 3 years of film to look at him. He's a little erratic. And as you know, with bigger quarterbacks, when they throw from up here, it gets all scheduled. Yeah. But this guy, Zach Wilson, he has everything. He can run. His only weakness is wish he was a little bit bigger, but he'll gain some weight. And a lot of people have been comparing him to Rodgers, Mahomes. He has all those traits. Wow. I think that if you would take all those quarterbacks and you have a target 20 yards away, he's going to win. He has, I would say, maybe the best arm. I don't know what is that he does not do. He's played in the pro offense. Yeah, he had to play against the top tier competition as the SEC or the Big 12 or the Big 10, but who's really playing defense now?
Yeah, too much defense.
Nick Saban said it.
Exactly. Who's really playing defense? Yeah. It's a race to 40. And Justin Fields, and not to take anything away from him, but there's a gap.
There's a big gap?
Between these two, there's a massive gap. Ooh. Now, Justin Fields, he's a leader. So everyone talked about what happened in Clemson. He bounced right back. Remember the Michigan game?
Yeah.
He got knocked out. He came right back.
Yeah, he's tough. He's a tough dude.
Yeah. He's an elite athlete. They call him like a mini Cam Newton, which he is. He's similar, not similar size, but similar stature. And he's a real erratic with throws. Like when he's good, his deep ball is pinpoint accurate. But when it gets bad with him, it gets real bad.
Like Indiana game.
Yeah.
And
you know, a lot of people say he's a one-read guy. He's not a one-read guy. He just gets through his progression a little slower than most. And you know, in the NFL, you don't get your progression fast.
It's over. It's over.
But he's going to need. He may need a red shirt year if he gets picked to the right team.
Okay.
Now, I could see this happening if San Francisco goes up and get him or get Lance. They're going to keep Jimmy G. Ooh. Sit those guys on the bench. Now, San Fran goes get Mac Wilson, and Jimmy G's out. Because Mac Wilson, he's still
Mac Jones.
I'm sorry.
So
Mac Jones. He's ready to go. Sorry for jumping around, but that's just my thoughts on that.
And let the record show he went to Northwestern, so he's mad at Ohio State. Just duly note that.
And I saw him. You know what? By the way, the last point about Justin Fields, I saw him in person, by the way. And so we all talk about the Northwestern game and also the Bama game, which he didn't play his best. But everyone talks about the Clemson game. There are some throws in that game that you're like, high schoolers can make that throw. You got to make that throw.
Wow.
Okay. Down on Justin Fields.
There's certain throws you look at that you gotta make. If you're gonna be a top 5 quarterback, you gotta be special.
No, I agree.
You gotta be special.
I'm with you. I'm with you. So the number 3 pick. So you saying if San Francisco pick Justin Fields instead of Mac Jones, then they're gonna keep Jimmy G?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, well, I'm going to say this, though. I'm not going to downplay the fact that the competition, the level of competition, I'm not going to downplay that too much, all right? Zach Wilson, he didn't play against a Power 5 conference school last season when Justin Fields playing the best of the best, all right? Justin Fields is much bigger. He's 6'3", 230 pounds. Zach Wilson, 6'2", 210. Justin Fields, he ran his 40 time at his pro day, 4.44 40.
Are 40s overrated for quarterbacks? I mean, if you can run, you can run. Right.
But Justin Fields, he can run. I mean, he's fast. He's much faster. Why didn't he run his 40 time? If it doesn't matter, then why didn't Zach Wilson run the 40 at his pro day? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
So, and something I would say as well with 40 times, it came as you and I both know, we ran 40s in college. It's about that explosiveness and that explosion. And when you think about quarterbacks who are athletic quarterbacks or dual threat quarterbacks and guys who can, maneuver around and extend plays, having that explosiveness and being able to get out the pocket and getting out of danger is a big key. And I think Justin Fields has a little bit more ability athletically when it comes to that. I think out of all the quarterbacks in the draft, even the past 2 years, I think he's the best athletically, the best.
Easily.
Yeah.
And he also had a 70% completion rate. So it's not as if I've seen quarterbacks who are throwing 59%, 61%, 62%. So the guy still completes passes.
Absolutely. So but Zach Wilson was incredible. He had 33 touchdowns, only 3 picks. So those were great numbers. Justin Fields, he was up and down, but like Jay Knight alluded to, in big games he showed up. Like when it was Big Ten championship or whether it was against Clemson in the playoffs, he showed up. So he showed that he could be prime time. But Zach Wilson does have a lot of what you say. He got a little more of a skill set as far as a pure quarterback. But I do think Justin Fields' ceiling is very high because I feel like his ceiling, like he's okay, whatever he's lacking on, he can make up for athletic ability early. But as he learns how to process the game more, I feel like maybe in year 4, Justin Fields can explode.
But you talked about it though. His stock fell. Justin Fields' stock fell after the Indiana game. He threw 3 interceptions. But on 2 of those interceptions, he should have just took the sack. He was getting sacked. He threw the ball up on silly, goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? But after that game, I didn't see him do nothing silly like that. After he learned from those blunders in that game, and then against Northwestern, he had his worst game of his career. But he had a thumb injury in the first half. In the first half of the game, his thumb was injured. Bounced back against Clemson with a great, phenomenal game.
And that's one of the things I like about him. He's gone through adversity. I mean, Ohio State season stopped. I mean, we're Big Ten guys, and he didn't have a season just going all the way through. So I think a lot of what happened, I thought he pressed a lot this year. Last year, I thought he was a lot better, but I think he pressed a lot, and I think that's one of the tendencies that's to fight as well. Against Penn State last year, he started off on fire, and then he started to press too much in games. So I think that's one of his big things. He has to understand, relax. Maybe he needs to do some yoga and learn how to control his breathing, but he has to stop pressing, and that's where his mistakes come in.
I was going to say 49 should take Justin Fields.
The thing with Fields.
Ooh, you got Fields. He's a Fields. He's a Fields.
The thing with Fields is in regards to that draft, are you going to invest all that money in that quarterback position? That's something San Francisco have to figure out. But the thing with Fields, you have to make anticipatory, is that a word? Yeah, I think I got it right. Anticipatory throws. Like you have to throw people open in the league. In Ohio State and all these other schools, they got good coaches that get paid a lot of money now. They scheme their guys open. So I think a little bit of his success is the scheme.
Of course.
But I don't know, I haven't seen him throw people open often.
Okay.
So there's times where you look at the all 22 film, those who are listening, all 22 is when you look at the vertical view and the horizontal view of the film. When you look at it and you see him open, you're like, just throw it.
Right.
He's there. And he's a long strider when he throws, so that means that his base is a little bit off. So as I said, that caused you to be erratic. That's why I was like, I don't know, but that can all be cleaned up. Like I said earlier, you got some average guys, then you got some special guys.
Okay.
That guy, Zach Wilson.
So Zach Wilson is special. Gotcha. Okay. I got you. So tell me this then, King. Who's ranked higher on your list? Trey Lance or Mac Jones?
Actually, I'll give you my order. Mac Wilson.
Mac Jones.
God darn it.
Yeah.
Wilson. Lawrence. Jones. Fields.
Oh,
I'm sorry. After the Bama guy, Kellen Mond from A&M, I had him at 4.
You got him at 4. Wow.
4.
Okay.
Oh, this guy is. Oh, it is legit.
Yeah.
This dude is. 19-3 in the SEC.
That's pretty good.
Hey.
So then you got Jones ahead of Trey Lance then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, this guy. Oh, hey. Now I know we're jumping around, but he ran a 4.5. He does everything. He's a little stiff, but other than that, he played in a pro offense, pro coach, Jimbo Fisher, and this guy here. You gotta look some film on him.
Yeah.
That's a sleeper.
So you got mine over Justin Fields.
Yes, sir.
That's amazing.
I got mine right there for.
So Justin Fields, like, he your 5th, right? Is he your 5th?
He's 5.
Oh.
Now, that don't mean they'll get drafted in this order. Now,
No, I'm just talking about for
once we look like 3 to 5 years away, we'll come back to this like, he was right.
And you got Trey Lance like 6'7" or something like that.
You know, Trey Lance, he hasn't had enough throws, man. You gotta have.
I'm with you there.
And plus his offense. Have you guys seen him?
Oh yeah.
I'm with you.
So North Dakota State, they're like the Alabama of FCS, right?
Yeah.
They can have the ball on their own 5-yard line and run the ball to the other 5 and then throw it.
Yeah.
And then they'll play action. Okay, that guy right there is gonna be open. So it's not like it's a pro offense.
Right.
But they're run heavy. So he threw 28 touchdowns and 0 picks because that guy right there is open. Coach is saying throw it to that guy.
Yeah. In 2019, he threw 28 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Yeah,
he had a lot of rushing.
11 touchdowns rushing.
Yeah.
But, so here's the thing though, Akeem. When I look at Trey Lance, I see Carson Wentz 2.0. When I look at, because a lot of people always discuss, and one of the fallacies I think when discussing quarterbacks, everybody always discusses past history or who they played against and throwing wide open. Mac Jones, I have him as my 5th quarterback in the list because here's what I see with Mac Jones. I see someone with good feet, accurate, intelligent, throws on time, right?
Yeah.
But I've never seen Mac Jones in adversity. And what I mean by that, I don't see a lot of throws being made by Mac Jones where he's under duress and making these great throws. Yeah. He's not athletic, so he's kind of a statue back there. And the year of the statue, they gave the statues pass. When you got a D lineman, D ends running 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, 4.6, and getting around that edge with that bend, and he's going to be under duress and in trouble. What I've also seen is with Bama, 63% of his passing yards came after the catch. So he had the talent. He was throwing to 4 NFL receivers, and Michi's going to be a 5th. But he threw the 4 first-round draft picks, and he's a kid out of Chicago. Shout out to Billingsley. Jaleel Billingsley is going to be an NFL pro as well. He's almost as good as O.J. Howard, who was a first-rounder. Right. So he's throwing to a lot of talent. He has 5 offensive linemen. He has the top-rated running back in the draft. So look at all that talent he has around him. And when he's making throws, they're bubble screens, they're fake the screen, throwing the slant being taken, they're double moves. Devontae Smith ran a lot of double moves. You got the best route, you got the second best route running, best receiver in Jalen Waddle. So a lot of what he's throwing was to wide open receivers. And I was watching them play Georgia, and Waddle did a great job of stacking, getting on top of Tyson Campbell, who's going to be a 2nd round cornerback. He got over the top. Mac Jones delivered a ball that was late, and that was behind him. And I've seen a lot of balls he's thrown that are vertical because his arm talent is as good as the first 4 guys I have on my list. That was just a little bit behind, a little bit late. In NFL, that recovery speed, that's going to be a knockdown and maybe even an interception. Yep. And when I look at the talent that's around him, it's a lot easier for him to succeed in that. But when I look at his biggest game, when he had adversity, he had to come back. Like every quarterback on our list, we had to come back in the top 5. But when I looked at him, Auburn last year, what did he do in his biggest game on the biggest stage? They had a chance to get to the playoffs. What did he do against Auburn? He threw 2 pick sixes. That was the difference in the game. Yeah. Throwing the red zone pick sixes and turnovers. So while I think if he goes to the 49ers where they want to have another Kirk Cousins, because that's what Shanahan likes, I think he can be successful. He's going to be a game manager. He's not going to lose games, and he's going to put in the right spot. If he goes anywhere else, and maybe New England get him, he can be successful.
I don't think he falls that far.
But if he goes anywhere else, I don't see him being that successful. I see Trey Lance, I have him ahead of him, but what I see with Trey Lance is you're going to have to develop him. He's going to have to take a redshirt year. You're going to have to put him in a good system. You're going to have to coach him up. Yeah. If he goes to the Broncos, they have a bunch of talent, but offensive scheme not great, so you don't know what you're going to get. Yeah. But I would still, if I'm the 49ers, if I don't take Fields, I take Lance because I think they have a higher ceiling and they can do a lot more. Kind of the same thing as with replacing Alex Smith with Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Trey Lance, he played that showcase game against Central Arkansas, and he had some really good runs, 55-yard run, a 14-yard rushing touchdown, but he was very inaccurate, overthrowing tight ends, open deep wide receivers for touchdowns, and throwing
Did he play last year? I don't think
he played one game.
He played one game, but that's tough.
It's hard to judge people in this pandemic season.
Well, he did in 2019 though, like my man Akeem was alluding to it. He only averaged 18 pass attempts a game in 2019, only 174 passing yards a game. It was a run-heavy offense. He didn't have
that sounds like San Francisco quarterback right there.
When you got guys running down the field, you can punt it to him.
Yeah.
He's a tough person to evaluate, but I think he has a good frame. He needs a red shirt here.
There's never been a FCS quarterback, red shirt sophomore quarterback into the NFL. He should have went back to school for another year.
But you got to go where the money's there.
Yeah, you got to take it.
And one last thing I'll say about this is between the two of them, I'm not big on quarterbacks who only start 1 year in college. Right. And while Mac Jones has some experience to fall, and he's a senior, I'm still not big on. I like to see guys with 2 years of game film, 2 years of tape, 2 years of starting, because I think you start to develop. I think teams can kind of see what you're doing and maybe catch up and throw some things at you. I think they benefit from not playing more than one season full time as a starter.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. So,
I got one other point. Do you guys think all of these quarterbacks are first-round quarterbacks?
I don't think Trey Lance is the first-round quarterback.
It's tough. If you look at it this year and with the desperate need of quarterbacking in the NFL right now, they probably are first-rounders. If you just put them in a vacuum and line them up against other quarterbacks, then you got Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson. I think Justin Fields is a first rounder, but those probably the three right there, in my opinion.
It's like economic supply and demand.
Yeah,
it's demand for quarterbacks. Yeah, that's why. Because next year's quarterback class after Sam Howell is warm garbage juice.
Yeah.
Sam Howell.
It might be hot garbage juice.
Exactly. It's not even hot garbage juice. It's warm. And Sam Howell, to me, is not a first rounder necessarily, or somebody you want to make a franchise quarterback.
But they're going to end up trying.
But that's my point. That's why if Trey Lance would have came out in next year's draft, he could have been.
He may be number one pick.
Yeah, absolutely. But he wanted that money. He already set for a pandemic. He was like, I'm out. Yep. So, all right, I'm gonna start with you on this one. Akeem brought it up, and J Knight brought it up. Is the hype for Trevor Lawrence real?
Well, he's tough. He got decent scrambling ability. He's pretty good in the run, pass option, and everything. And even when he's getting hit as he throws, he's dropping the ball in the breadbasket. He's excellent. But I'm really looking at the Jaguars. The team is going to. They lost Keelan Cole. He went to the Jets. Yeah. They picked up a couple of guys.
Marvin Jones.
Yeah, they picked up Marvin Jones. They got LaVisca Chenault Jr. He had 58 receptions with the Jaguars last year. And they also have they got DJ Shark. That's a deep threat right there. Yeah. And then James Robinson, he was a pleasant surprise for them. He from Illinois State. Yep. He had 10 total touchdowns, over 1,000 rushing yards last year. Pleasant surprise. The Jaguars got 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a third-round pick. I'm sure they're going to take an offensive lineman and a wide receiver. But they do need to upgrade their tight end position. I'm looking at the Penn State guy, Pat Fryermuth. Yeah, Fryermuth. He's pretty good. Then Boston College, you got, what's his name, Hunter Long. So there's some good offense. They're going to forget. The Jaguars going to forget that they have a defense. They're going all offense in this draft.
They should.
When you draft a quarterback number 1, you got to make sure this works out.
Exactly.
There's no question about it. Same question to you, Jay Knight. What's your ceiling on Trevor Lawrence? What's your feelings about Trevor Lawrence?
On Sunshine, on the. So here's the thing with Trevor Lawrence. I can compare every quarterback to somebody I've seen throw the ball, right? There's no comparison for Trevor Lawrence. He's a generational talent, once in a lifetime type of talent. Yeah. The only knock I would have on him is he's not a pure arm thrower. Meaning, if there's a rush that's coming through the middle, if he can't step and throw, he's erratic. That's why Ohio State, LSU, he had issues throwing. But the guy's a leader. He's a winner. Yeah. I mean, he throws guys open. He throws on time. He dissects defenses. The guy's athletic. I mean, looking against my Buckeyes, bring his team back. Yeah. On read option, he ran a 45-yard touchdown. The guy's tough. He took a hit in that game against Ohio State 2 years ago in the playoffs, and he came back and led his team to a victory. Yeah. So, and the fallacy of Clemson, they don't have the greatest talent. They really don't. If you really look at them, like last 2 years when they played Ohio State, they didn't have better talent. When they played Bama his freshman year, they had great front four and great defense. But he's winning with less talent. He didn't have his best receiver this year, Ross, who had a neck injury. Right. So he's not playing, but he's still winning. He's still there, and there's something about him. Sometimes in life, it's about the it factor. Look at anybody who's great in life, great industry. It's about the it factor. People gravitate towards them. People want to do people just want to do their best for him. He's a better version of Tim Tebow. People believe in him. He's a leader, and people won't give their all.
And he can actually throw. So.
Exactly. I thought Tim Tebow was throwing underhand with his offhand sometimes. But the thing is, the guy's a winner. The guy's a leader. And he's going to be in a situation where Jacksonville's going to allow him to grow. He's going to have he reminds me of Troy Aikman with the Cowboys, where they're going to have a lot of draft capital, where they're going to have a lot of draft picks, where they're going to have a college coach who's enthusiastic and leader, who comes with some swag, who might be able to be a great college or a great NFL coach. He might be on a par with Jimmy Johnson, and to me, the greatest coach, the two greatest coaches of all time in football, Jimmy Johnson and Pete Carroll, because they won at two different levels.
That's facts.
And they were able to be successful.
That's facts.
Bill Belichick's the greatest NFL coach of all time, but I still put those two because Jimmy Johnson built Miami and made them a juggernaut. Pete Carroll rebuilt USC, made them a juggernaut. And I think Urban Meyer has that same ability to where he's won national championships at two colleges, built them to be juggernauts, and I think he can bring that ability to Jacksonville. And I think the key to that is Trevor Lawrence at the quarterback position, which is the most important position of all sports.
Absolutely. Now you said you would take Zach Wilson over Trevor Lawrence. Why would you say that? What separates Zach Wilson from Trevor Lawrence? Why would you take him over Trevor?
As I mentioned earlier, Zach has every club in the bag. Trevor, he's a little erratic because he's a long strider, as Jay and I alluded to earlier. You get pressure in a person like that, and Trevor, he's a big dude. He's about 6'5". 6'5".
So yeah, he's tall.
Well, we'll round up, make everybody feel tall. He's 6'5", 6'6", and a person with a long stride, and that can be fixed too. So I just think that they're both phenomenal. But if I had my choice, that's the guy I'm picking. Now I'm curious of what type of offense they're going to run. So their offense coordinator is going to be Derek Bevel, who was the Lions head coach. Yeah. Now you're going to mesh his scheme with some of Urban Meyer's scheme. Is the offense going to be more college-y? Is the offense going to be more pro style? I think Zach Wilson, you put him in any offense and just say go. Now Trevor, you got Taylor. You got to make sure he's in the right system now. You can't mess this up.
But Trevor ran a lot of read option over the last couple years, so I think he still has that ability though.
He's more athletic than people give him credit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Yeah, nice speed on him.
You look like a giraffe running sometimes.
But I think that they don't have the balls to make that move to go to Zach Wilson. Trevor, he's from Atlanta, went to school in Clemson, makes sense. Jacksonville, Duval County. I think that if I had to compare him to a particular person, I want to put together Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck together. Peyton was a big guy, Andrew Luck was a big guy. Trevor still has some more weight to gain.
Yeah, he do.
He's slim.
Yeah, he had shoulder surgery, but he has a frame to carry. He's 225 now. He can carry easily 240. So it'll be something we find out over time.
And good thing about him is he went to Clemson, so having TGI Fridays and Applebee's as the best restaurants in the city, it's not going to be a big deal to him.
Facts. I think Trevor Lawrence is the best prospect since Andrew Luck. I think if you look at all the quarterbacks, he's the best one since Andrew Luck. We knew Andrew Luck. As soon as we knew he was going to be that deal. And I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be. He's going to lift Jacksonville up. I think they're 3-4 years from now, Jacksonville's going to be a Super Bowl contender as long as everything goes correctly, as long as they draft correctly.
Exactly.
Quarterbacks, you got to remember, teams have a small window to win with a quarterback on a rookie deal.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Real small.
Exactly.
All right, so Jay Knight, we talked about a lot of quarterbacks. Give me a quarterback we didn't talk about that you like.
Jamie Newman, because he's an X factor. We didn't see. He had some shining moments, and he flashed a little bit at Wake Forest, but injuries ended his year before Sam Hartman came in and finished. He's behind Sam Hartman the year before, so we really don't know how good he's going to be. And he went to Georgia, and he was supposed to be the reason why they were going to beat Bama and be national champions. He opted out. So two things: he has a lively arm. Mm-hmm. He's athletic. Yep. He's mobile. I think he's just as physically gifted as Trey Lance. But one thing I will question is opting out. Did he not want to compete? Was he too arrogant and feeling that he's already a first round pick, not seeing the landscape of who else is out there at quarterback? So those are the things that I would think about. But if I'm the Chicago Bears, two quarterbacks I look at, Akeem alluded to earlier, Kellen Mond, who can make all the throws, and is Jameis Winston light. And I think Jamie Newman, who has the ability that if you already have a betting quarterback in there, you can take a flyer and see what there is in practice. Unlike Green Bay, who took Jordan Love last year in the first round, you can take this guy in the third, fourth round, take a flyer on him. He can either be your backup or possibly quarterback of the future, but he just has more ability than Jordan Love, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Adi, same question. You give me a quarterback we didn't talk about.
Well, the guy that Jay Knight don't like, Davis Mills. Yeah, Davis Mills.
He's a 5-star kid out of high school, so it's not like I don't hate him.
Yeah, I mean, he was at Stanford University. He ran pro-style offense with the quarterback gurus, David Shaw. He only played 6 games in 2019, only 5 games last season because of Corona. He had one more year of eligibility. I feel like he should have went back to college. He definitely should have went back because, like you said, the next year's draft class is pretty bad, and he could have been a top 10 pick if he had a good season. So he's 6'4", but he's not a step back there. He can move around in the pocket. His last game against UCLA, he had an excellent first half. He did a play action, was getting hit as he threw, but still threw it to his tight end in stride for 43 yards. Hit him again in stride for 33 yards, but in the second half, he did throw 3 interceptions, okay? So the man, one was because he tried to throw in a tight window when he should have threw the simple check down play, and also he had an underthrow pass and the old miscommunication with the wide receiver, which went back for a pick 6. But the man responded from that very well. They was down 34-20. He threw a 21-yard strike to get a touchdown, another 20-yard pass to get down the field. He sent the game into overtime and threw the game-winning touchdown to his wide receiver which ended up being the game winner in overtime to beat UCLA. So he showed some character. He came back from the interceptions, threw some nice passes, and he didn't just keep failing, and he bounced back pretty good. So I think Davis Mills, he'd be a decent 3rd round, 4th round pick.
Okay. And you said Kellen Mond?
Kellen Mond, yeah.
Yes.
So I mentioned earlier, what throw can he make? He happened to be a victim of losing one game in the SEC. We talk about who have they played? They played in the SEC. West. His worst game was against LSU. They won. So this kid, if he makes plays, I think he's going to be a steal. If he falls to the Bears, Ryan Pace, sure got it.
And to piggyback off that, I'm a cap for you here. Each year he has improved on his completion percentage. I'm a big proponent of completion percentage at the college level. My college coach, Bill Sylvester, used to have completion percentage 65% as one of the keys to victory. So he was at 63% on average, but he every year he got better. Completion percentage, touchdown interception ratio, each year he got better. Took a step back in 2019, but looked better in 2020.
And that is a pro offense with Jimbo Fisher runs down there at A&M, and he's pro ready.
And I have him rated as I compare him to a Jameis Winston 1.5.
Actually, I compare him on to Cap.
Kaepernick?
Oh yeah? Okay. So I mean, before you end the quarterback show, what's your top 5 then QBs?
So my top 5, I got Trevor Lawrence 1, Zach Wilson 2, I have Justin Fields 3, I have Trey Lance 4, I have Mac Jones 5.
Okay.
Wilson, Lawrence, who's the Bama guy? Jones?
Yep.
Mon, Fields, Lance.
All right.
That was 6.
I got one question for you guys though. Okay. To walk off the show. All right. The most historic draft class was 1983. You know, Marino, Elway, Eason, Kelly, all those guys, right? The most overrated and mistake-ridden draft class was 99. We had Couch, Achilles Smith, Cade McNown, you know, all the 5 first-round picks. Is this draft class for quarterbacks, in your opinion, closer to 83 or closer to 99?
99.
99.
99. Yeah.
99. 5 QBs won't even go in the first round.
Yeah, no, 99. Like
5 QBs shouldn't go in the first round. It'll be like drafting malpractice if 5 QBs go in the first round.
So y'all do realize 99 means one of the top 3 will be a good quarterback, a B plus quarterback. 3 quarterbacks will be cold garbage juice. Cold garbage juice. And 1 quarterback will be between a mediocre hand job and a bad one. So y'all do understand that, right?
I think we got 2. I think we got Trevor Lawrence, and I think I like Justin Fields. My man say Wilson is the man.
You got 3 tiers. You got your tier 1. Those 2 special guys, Wilson and BYU kid and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Those are they're head and shoulders above competition. Then Mac Jones. Then the rest of them.
See, I got Justin Fields over Mac Jones, but we're going to see. We're going to find out.
And so you think the 49ers going to take so we know the 49ers going to take a quarterback. I think they taking Justin Fields. Y'all, what do you? Who's
so I got a feeling they leaning towards Mac Jones because Jay Knight made a good point about that. He's a Kirk Cousins type mode.
So last thing I'll say is this: I think Trevor Lawrence succeeds. I think Wilson may struggle. I think whoever goes to San Francisco succeeds. And I think if the Patriots take a quarterback, that guy succeeds. So I think 3 out of 5 will succeed. I think this class has the ability to have 2 A quarterbacks, 1 B, 1 B, high B, and 1 low B quarterback and 1 C quarterback. That's how I look at it. I think it'll be a decent class.
Okay.
All right. We shout out and thanks to Jay Knight and my man Akeem. I'm Zach Roach along with my partner, Mr. Adi Wally. This has been Spectator Sporting. We just talked about the college quarterbacks. Stay tuned because we're gonna the next show we're gonna be talking about the other offensive positions. But until then, in the meantime, we out. Peace.